And I asked her, Lily, are you okay? And she said, Stuart, there's nothing I can do to bring back Vincent, but I don't want any other mother to go through what I've gone through.
I will never forget. That's when I saw Vincent Cheng's mother is standing in front of protesters and the news media from all over. She made a statement and I knew how she felt. She stood in front of many people and I quote, "I am here for justice for my son," unquote. As a mother, I knew exactly how she felt.
Unfortunately, while we were filming, every time she saw a camera, it reminded her of the tragedy and she started, she got very emotional. But off camera, she was the funniest, she loves to cook. She was always trying to set us up, like she always tried to set me up with Jim Shimura, who was singing a little song, say, I wouldn't have minded, but he wasn't interested. But, this kind of tragedy, that was her only son, and she's such a homebody. You can imagine her. He was going to move in with her, and he and Vicky, after they got married, she was looking forward to grandchildren. That's how you can imagine Lily Chen. And she ended up, after the Cincinnati trial, I guess she left Detroit. She lived in a boarding room in San Francisco for a while. She lived with relatives in Iowa. It was really, really devastating to her, but she still just came to everything. It's amazing, but it's amazing because you don't have to be this sort of iconic hero that people think about to really create change.
In many ways, we were kind of learning on the job training. We had to kind of pursue this thing without a roadmap. Community didn't have any kind of justice organization. We didn't have a group like NAACP out there to fight for us. So we had to kind of start from scratch, bottom up.
When you're looking at the development of new organizations, looking at groups like American Citizens for Justice in the Michigan area, national groups, you saw the evolution and growth of those groups so that they became important players both locally and nationally.
When we first worked on the case, at that time the Legal Center had one person, that was me. Today we have a network around the country.
The Vincent Chin case is important not just to Detroiters, it's important not just to people who lived through the 1980s. It's important not just to Asian Americans. This story is the story of America.
Before the Vincent Chin case, the hate crime arena was just limited to a black-white paradigm. But because of that case, things have really opened up in terms of the multifaceted nature of the movement, and it has been broadened to people of different ethnicities, gender preference, and sexual orientation.
The Vincent Chin case really is a milestone, not just for Asian Americans, but really in all of American history and in civil rights history in particular, because this was really the first time that an Asian American was ever taken up by federal civil rights law. It was a challenge, and not just that he was Asian American, but also that he was an immigrant. And the question of Vincent Chin's citizenship was one of the first things that the federal prosecutors looked at when they were trying to decide whether this was a case that the federal government should be bothered with, that that was within the purview and the federal protection, that an immigrant would be protected, that somebody of Asian ancestry would be protected. And this was debated. This was not a slam dunk foregone conclusion. This opened up the whole civil rights definition, the arena, the way we look at civil rights, and really the way we look at the humanity and human rights of all people in America. Not just Americans, but all people in America. We can, as Asian Americans, be very proud that this piece of Asian American history is a critical piece of American history that every American should be proud of and every American should know about.